What's up, you guys? It's Josiah here from The Works Guitars, here with another session of Lead Guitar Fridays. Now, for today's video, I want to start this off by inviting you guys to try out my Rock Guitar Academy. My Rock Guitar Academy is a great place for guitar players. Has to be above the beginner level, but it's a great place for you to interact with other guitar players, really feed off of them, but still gain a very solid education in a way that's not going to break your budget. I know a lot of people are still searching for guitar teachers, and the problem that a lot of them have is, first of all, one-on-one, I don't really like that, I don't feel like I get enough. Well, at my Rock Guitar Academy, you get a lot of sessions to meet during the week and on the weekends sometimes, and you have the ability to feed with them, to work around with other musicians, and to gain great understanding, as well as recorded lessons, and you get your materials on a regular basis. So I want to invite you guys to try it out and sign up for it on my website. But let's go ahead and let's get started with our Lead Guitar Friday video. Alrighty guys, so here we are with Lead Guitar Fridays. Today we're talking about phrasing. Now I have this backing track, we've heard it many times. And again, we talked about this both for the rock days on Monday and Wednesday. Today we're using it to talk about the phrasing element. So when it comes to phrasing, we've talked about it a few Fridays ago. Phrasing is not something that has to be these incredibly well thought out and just on the fly you were able to think of something that perfectly. Phrasing can be done over time. You don't have to be able to do it immediately. But one thing that is very commonly thought about phrasing is that less is more, or you don't have to do some crazy solo that less is more, but in reality less is more is not true and more is not more. Really it comes down to what works in the music, and it really comes down to what emotion are you trying to bring out. So if I am if I'm playing with this backing track and I just play a scale sequence, it sounds cool when I play with the backing track, but it really has very little meaning. That's why a lot of times you'll see me do a bend and linger on that and hit a vibrato, because it brings more meaning and more purpose to that lead. So if I turn this on, and I'm going to do a couple of examples here and show you what I mean, how you can do short phrases or long phrases, or you can do phrases that are in between. It doesn't really matter. So here we go. Now those were just a couple of quick phrases, but you notice how they were much more packed with emotion, yet they weren't very complex. In fact, the vast majority of what I did, I purposely stayed in the pentatonic scale here on C sharp, and then I moved back, and I kept the vibrato very strong, and when I went to do a bend into a note, I didn't just start and go just. Sometimes I did that, other times I just. You notice that note, I started a half step below the note I was aiming for, and I slowly bent up and then added vibrato once I got to that note. That made that phrase so much more emotional. It gave so much more of an impact on the listener. So a great way for you to practice your lead guitar and your phrasing is to practice not making notes that work with each chord progression, but instead playing notes that create a certain emotional feeling. So don't practice don't practice just wasting time on meaningless notes. Make every single note count. When every single note counts, if you can make one note sound really good, you can make 100 notes sound really good. So practice getting the most out of every note possible instead of trying to play a bunch of notes kind of average. So I'm going to let this go and I'm going to play it out. But this is Lead Guitar Fridays, guys. Remember, check out my Rock Guitar Academy. There are some awesome things there. Now, if you were an actual student of mine in the Rock Academy, this would have been the intro portion to our actual lesson. You would have learned about what the phrasing is and what makes it important. And then you're going to learn from there how to implement that and how to integrate that with all of your other guitar playing skills. I'll catch you guys next time. Well, let's play this out.